Hello everyone, in this video I'm going to show you how to create a simple, well, not so simple, Go development environment with Docker. And it's quite simple. Well, that's relative, but let me show you. You need a terminal. You need a terminal, obviously. I'm going to do almost everything in the terminal. So, okay, first thing first. Let me change to my projects directory. This is optional, obviously. And Linux inside here. Let me get this a little bit bigger. And now we are going to start. First, we're going to create our folder in which we are going to create our project. In this case, I'm going to title this, I don't know, Go Docker, for example. We change inside our Docker or Go Docker folder, and it is there. It doesn't have nothing. So we're going to start creating some files. And I'm going to explain each and every one of the files we're creating because they have a logic to it. So first of all, we're going to use Docker Compose, not Docker the Docker command. We're going to use Docker Compose because it's a little bit easier to work than just raw Docker. So first thing first, sorry about that, we need to create a compose file. This is going to be our main compose file, but we are going to create another one in a minute. This compose file that I'm creating is going to have certain configurations for development. I'm going to explain you, well, long story short, you can partition your Docker Compose in various files, and merge them later with in command line form or with an environment variable that we are going to set in a minute. And for those environment variables, we need a env file, obviously. So far we have our compose files and an env file. Now let's create another main part of this, which is our Docker file. Sorry about that. In the Docker file, we're going to create our base image, the Golang. We're going to pull the Golang image, and we are going to configure some things, mostly some targets. I'm going to show you how to do that in a second. We have Docker dev. Sorry about that. We have now our compose files. Our Docker files are env file, env file, and this is where things are gonna get interesting. So basically, I don't have Go installed in my computer, so this is not going to be any problem whatsoever, because we're going to use we're going to leverage Docker Compose to create a container that, and we are going to access that container and use the commands inside in that container. In this case, the command we're going to use is the go command and the go pls command, so we can do go run and compile our projects. So now let's create a directory called bin, and inside bin we're going to create two files. Bin go and coach bin go pls. Go pls is a language server for Go. Go please, actually. Go please. And we're going to have to do some trickery to make Go pls work for our project, but I'm getting ahead of things. First thing first, we check our files. So we have our bin, our compose, our to compose files, our Docker file, and an env. And we are going to create, well, this is for the Go project, obviously. You don't have to do this exact thing. You can, like, I don't know, create your, let's just create a main Go file for the moment here, just because. And that's it for the moment. Now, I'm going to use nbeam neobeam for this. You can use VS Code or your editor of choice. And I'm going to configure GoPLS for neobeam. Well, actually, it's already configured for neobeam. But you can almost follow this tutorial to use it on VS Code. So let's open neobeam. I'm going to open another terminal just to see how things work. So let's do this. Now, first thing first, we need to create a compose file. It's complaining about a Docker language server. Don't worry about that. We need to create services. In this case, I'm going to name it Go. You can name it other things. Go project, for example, or backend. That's not you just write backend. Backend, for example. I'm going to go for Go just because. And it just needs one thing, which is a volumes. And just a minute. It's actually a build. I'm sorry, not a volumes. It's a build. We do build over here. With a space. Don't forget the spaces in YAML files. And okay, I'm going to explain something really quickly. Just this command. So basically, we need always, when you're working with containers, you need to specify a command that the container is going to run. So if your Docker image, for example, doesn't have, let's say it's an npm server, but you forget to put in the Docker file the process, or you forget to run the process of the server, the Docker container is going to close immediately. It's going to do its thing and die. In this case, because we are going to use Go more like a CLI application than a server, if I don't put a process to run like forever in the Docker file, So the container is going to end. So this is kind of a hack. Let's call it that. It's like a hack. This part is like a hack. So our container just keeps running. You don't have to put this if you, for example, are using a server or making Go run like a server. So you make a server with the net HTTP library or something like that, and you in your Docker file explicitly call that server, or you put your server to run. Obviously, it's not going to stop the container. So this part over here is just a hack, because I'm not developing. Well, this example is not developing a server application. I'm doing this most like a CLI application. It's like you will build a GUI application or something like that. So yeah, this is our main compose file. Now we are going to edit our second compose file. Now, as I mentioned earlier, you can merge compose files in Docker Compose. This is mainly to split the application logic to be a little more clean. In this case, I'm using it to create a dev environment and a production environment. In fact, this is how I did it at work. The project that I was working in Go was cancelled, but this is how me and my other coworker were doing it. We have like a Docker Compose, one main Docker Compose, and then two other Docker Compose that were merged according to an environment variable that we set in a env file. So when we uploaded our code, we just needed to change that variable, and the parts that require the PP production will be merged into the Docker Compose, the main Docker Compose file. And if you are working in our local machines, the dev portion of that merge will be run. So it's more or less like that. You can read it in the documentation. The documentation is very laid out in that portion. It's about merge files. I think it's the section merge and extend. You can check it out. Basically, it's almost a copy. In fact, I'm going to copy this part over here. Back, we copy this. And we're going to do some modifications over here. So first of all, we need the build target. Obviously, we need to specify in the build. I'm going to explain this in a moment. The target, because you can specify like layers, or you can name layers in your Docker files, and you can explicitly tell Docker just build until this layer, or skip these layers, for example. I'm going to show you when we create the Docker file. So we need this target def, and so now that we specify our target, we need to specify the arguments of the Docker Compose. This is kind of a hack that I have to do because I needed certain information, but I couldn't get it from the end files because I needed a build time. So just so you keep in mind, we're going to need the UID of our user, of our computer, or group ID, and the user or our system and our present work directory. So the full path of our projects folder. And I'm going to show you how to get these two numbers, because they are numbers. You just put ID here and you get it over here. This is your group ID 1000 and this is your group UID or your user ID. So we just need to put, I don't want to record, just put it here 1000. We need a space as always, don't forget the spaces. Also over here. Oh, I think, oh yes. Our user, in this case my user is Portia, and the full current directory of our project, you can get it running this command pwd, and we can just copy it, not like that obviously, but, and we need to also mount our volume. In this case we're going to mount our current directory, well, the elements of our directory of our project. This is the hack that I was going to tell you about in a moment, but it's very important. I'm getting ahead of some things, to be honest, but I think is very important to mention it now. So, okay. So now we have almost everything. Now we need to create our Docker file. Well, it's already created. We need to populate it. First, we need our base image. In this case, we're going to use the Golang, the latest and greatest. And oh damn it, what's happening? I'm going to name this layer as I told you before. A Docker file is basically composed of layers, and each line of your file is, I don't remember if it's each layer, each line, or each action you do. It's a layer of your Docker file. So we're going to name this layer as base. We are going to update our, or before update, we need to specify Ghost architecture, or the architecture that we are going to target. In this case is Linux, because I'm developing for Linux, as usual. And we need to update the image. This is just standard. Upgrade, no, upgrade, yes. And now we have to do some things. For example, we need to create the target for our development image in the Docker Compose. So we use our base image, which is this over here. All of this is our base image, and this is our new stage in the process. This is what we are targeting here. So the Docker Compose is going to This is going to run, obviously. And then, at least in the part of the Docker Compose dev, is going to run just this part because this is our target. So we need to specify the same arguments we did. This is not what I was trying to do. The same arguments we specify in our Docker Compose, we need to specify them obviously over here. Now, this I'm going to let it so okay, no, sorry about that. On arg user. So basically what I'm going to do is create my own user inside Docker. Yes, inside the image. This is going to make sense in a moment. I'm just doing it right now, so we don't have problems later. But so we create our user's home directory. We add our user, well, not our user, but similar, or our clone user, or however you want to call it. This command is going to create our user and assign it the same user ID. I think you don't need the GID, but yeah, I think you don't need it, but let's. I put it there for some reason and I don't remember. Welcome to programming. Oh, I remember why. We need to also add our group ID here and our users. So this one creates the user and this one creates the modifies the group of our user to have the same user ID or of our real user in this case here. I don't know if that makes any sense, because we can run into the problem that user add creates a different group, a different UID, sorry, a different group ID for our user. So we correct that here, so to speak. And we set our user, the user that is going to be running things in the container as our user. And again, damn it. I don't know why it's auto-completing like that. Okay. Now we change our work dir, or the working directory for our container, to our present work directory. So we almost have everything. I need some things extra. Our main, our bin. So we are going to start our end file. Almost forgot our end file. So this is where we put our environment variables. Docker can read the environment variables over here, and we are going to set a variable called compose file. This variable tells the Docker Compose command the name or where is the Docker, the compose file. You can like have different names of compose files. Docker Compose checks two files like by default. It's docker slash compose. No, sorry. Yes, docker slash. It's docker docker compose.yml, docker hyphen, sorry, docker hyphen compose.yml or docker compose.yml. Compose.yml is the new one, and docker hyphen compose.yml is the old one. So yeah, here is where we are going to merge all our files or files. Also, this compose file variable, you can use it to indicate the merge of two compose files. In this case, we have our compose YML file, and with this semicolon, these two dots. I forgot the name. Compose dev YML. So doing this, we are going to make the compose file over here get merged into the compose file. This is the main compose file. Okay, so now remember that we created a folder called this folder called bin, and we put these things, these two files. Well, now it's time to tell you what they are, and they are just bash files that are going to help us to execute more easily our commands. In this case, this is the command that they are going to execute. So in this case, we're calling docker compose, and we are telling it to execute a command in our container Go. I should have like choose another name, but yeah, we are telling our container Go that we are going to execute inside this container the command Go, and this over here is going to pass whatever string we put after that. It's going to pass it to the container, obviously executing the command. So this is all that we need, and we obviously need, that's a thing that I almost forgot, we need to make executable this file. So we do a chmod +x, and we make our file executable. So now that we have almost everything, the basics. So let's just yeah, for example, if you look over here, what the hell I did? Oh my god, I think, sorry about that. If you see over here, it's telling me that it's not finding the Go command. It's not going to find it because I don't have it installed, but we are going to correct that in a moment. For now, we need to just create a simple Go program with your package main. Actually, no, we need to import format, and we need to our main function, obviously, format classic one, y all reliable, hello world. Okay. So we have everything we need for the moment. Docker compose dev. Everything seems fine and dandy. So now we run Docker compose build to check to build, obviously to build our container and to check if we didn't make any mistakes. So we cross our fingers and we build. So we I think I did something wrong. Because is not allowed, which is very strange because I did it. It's args. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. It's not arg, it's args. Typos everywhere. So we run this thing again. Now it's running and it finished. Okay. So the moment of truth. We do a Docker compose up with the D flag. So the Docker compose runs in the background. And it's running now. So things are okay for now. So let's test if we actually succeeded. So this is where we use our previously created file of GoPLS and run main. Oh. So it's compiling, and suppose it's gathering everything around, all the things that it needs first, and then it compiles again. And if we compile again, it runs pretty quick. So let's test again on that. So I don't know, let's import mat. What's happening? The mat library. Let's, I don't know. No, we just mat dot. I don't know, the scene of some number, I don't know, 50. We print that just because, I don't know, just to test. So we do the same. Oh, it worked. Now, you can let it be like this, and you can keep working in your project. You now have like a way to compile your project. But let's you don't want to be just running bingo. Sorry. Yeah, you don't want to be just running this command over and over again. So, also if your development environment, for example, VS Code or Vim or the IDE that you are utilizing, those things for you and requires the Go command to run, and if you don't have it installed, I mean, you have it like available, not installed in your main computer. Obviously, you have it in a container, but everything we're doing is to have it available for us. Like we are just like we just installed it from a distro repos or exes or whatever. Because if I go to over here to my NeoBeam, I can open a terminal, but Go is not going to be available, obviously. So sorry about that. What if I want it available? So we're going to do something. What the fuck I did? Yeah, almost. Let's go over there. We're going to do something else. We are going to export our variables. So I'm going to close this for a minute. We are going to export our variable path. And we are going to, no, it's actually path equals path and our current work directory. So if we echo path, which is our path variable, we now see that we have our path variable over here. So we can use Go. That we have it installed. What happened? Oh, I screw up. I screw up big time. Sorry about that. I'm going to have to exit this thing. So yeah, let's echo our path again. So remember, everything we export our paths is just going to work in the terminal that we are currently working. So it's just for the terminal that we spawn, no, not the other terminal. So just closing your terminal and everything goes resets. Let's say that, yeah, it resets. So again, we're going to, well, I don't have in this, so we're going to set it again. So we export our path. We append our path with our current path, or current work directory, sorry. And we specify that it's the bin folder. So if we echo our path, now we have our bin folder over here. Directory, sorry. Directory, but in Linux. So there are no folders, only directories. Nobody cares, but you know. So if I do Go version, it not works. Now, yeah. So you can now use this inside your terminal. So, we're going to correct, well, I'm going to correct this in a minute. In fact, it is already corrected. Yeah, it's already corrected. Actually, I don't know why it is telling me about Go. I don't have GoPLS installed. I have to check that now. Yeah, I don't have GoPLS installed. I don't know what it's telling me that. Permission denied because I don't have that installed, but we're going to correct that in a moment. So yeah, where we are? Oh yes. So now I can, I don't know, let's say, hola mundo. So okay, and we, I don't know, +1, whatever. It's just a test. So now if I open a terminal inside my NeoBeam and I go run main.go, it works. So now if you have, as I say, your IDE has like a toolchain or something, or commands to call go and do, I don't need the compilation for you or something like that, you can like, or if you need new commands, you can put it over there, call go from over here, or call your other commands from your container. This is the standard recipe. In fact, I'm going to copy this for my GoPLS. And we need to install GoPLS. So how do we install it? We do we go to our browser, or we just search for GoPLS. It's over here, and we just, no, this wasn't. This was. This is. Yeah, this is it. We do a go install. Obviously, you copy this, and we go to our Docker file, and we can use do run go. Sorry. Where am I? Okay. And that's it. And obviously, we have to run everything again. So, not a sudo. Yes, we need to stop our Docker compose. It takes a while, I don't know. I don't know why. We build it again. Now, if you see, it's downloading GoPLS. And it's going to finish any moment now. Come on, come on. It's done. Now the moment of truth. Before the moment of truth, need to check something. Yeah, we need to make GoPLS executable, obviously. So we chain mount plus X, oh, damn it, plus X, or bin GoPLS zone. Now it's executable. We call them beam again, and it now has to work. If it doesn't work, I'm going to unalive myself. I think that's an error. Let me see. Yeah, that's an error with. with NVim. It's updated. Sync it again. Up to date. I don't know what that's happening. Do I have? Service go is not. Ah, yes, of course. It's not running. Now it's running. Check if your Docker services are running, obviously. God damn it. And now, moment of truth. Yeah, I don't have Docker. We need to check if we have completion. Math dot. Yes, now we have the completion. So go PLS, it's working finally. Now we can test it a little bit further if you will. So over here, I'm going to create a new folder structure. It's in the app. So, okay. And in the app, I'm going to create a new main.go. Now okay, let's just copy this. We get it over here. Let's delete this. And I don't know, let's create a internal. Close this. A little bit distracting. So let's create a new folder. It's not without. I think go. And as you can see, GoPLS is working. In 64 and text is the string, let's say. Indent fontin struct. Okay. What the hell? Thanks. Like this. I think struct. I think, yeah. Oh my god, I forgot how to program in Go. Okay. Now let's do whatever. Think, I don't know. Hello. And it's going to print, let's see. Oh yeah, it's working now. Num text and hello. Just a little test. Okay. So now I can import, let's say, thing. Do I need to import it explicitly? No. Yeah, need a command. Thing dot hello. Okay, I don't like it. Okay, what the hell did I did? Don't go path. Okay. So there's something wrong and I didn't know what. Well, so the reason why GoPLS is not finding our package or little folder is because I didn't init a project. So go Docker. So I hope now it. Well, what the hell I did? Sorry about that. Now I should see our thing. Let's see. No, it doesn't. I think it's because we need to import google.com. I think. And we need to actually we should be able to do this, which is my thing. Yeah, need to be able to do this, and we did. So now this is just for show. To run cmd main.go, and wow, so this was a ride. I hope you like this video and subscribe please, and if you have any comments please comment below, and I hope this project well, not this project, I hope this technique helps you to create your own environment for Docker. Well, sorry, with Docker and Go. And you can extrapolate this to also Rust and another programming languages. Just it's the same recipe almost. So I hope you find this helpful. So thank you and see you next time.